All right, young friends, I hope your preparations for SSBs are going very well. We have seen how to make the stories as far as the thematic or perception test is concerned. थीमेटिक और परसेप्शन टेस्ट की स्टोरीज को आप दो हिस्सों में बांट सकते हैं. द 11 स्टोरीज जो साइकोलॉजिस्ट की प्रोजेक्टेड पिक्चर्स के ऊपर आप बनाते हैं. You make 11 stories on the pictures projected by the psychologist. And for the 12th, generally people call it the blank story. The screen remains blank and you receive the instruction that imagine any situation of your choice, any picture of your choice. It remains blank. There is a patch of light on the screen for 30 seconds, after which you get a time of 4 minutes again, like any other picture, and you write the stories. This seems very, very simple exercise, very innocuous. Generally, we take it for granted. ये लगता है बड़ी insignificant, बड़ी छोटी सी चीज है, और इसलिए ब्लैंक स्टोरीज के बारे में बहुत से लोग बहुत सीरियसली ध्यान नहीं देते हैं. This is where something very, very insignificant or something very significant is reflected about your preparations and attitudes. So, आज के इस YouTube वीडियो में ये जो लेसन Zoom पर चल रहा है, ये रिकॉर्ड किया जाएगा और इसको YouTube पर पोस्ट किया जाएगा. So that the environment, lot of people, they also could be benefited about the importance of the blank story. उसके पहले I'll once again request please keep your earphones muted. अपना ऑडियो म्यूट कर लें प्लीज. हाँ, थैंक यू. और सभी लोग रिक्वेस्ट ये है कि YouTube चैनल जिसका लिंक यहाँ पर दिया हुआ, प्लीज सब्सक्राइब इट, like it and share it with the needy people. So with this background, let us start our lesson, and that is the understanding of the blank story. It appears very simple, very insignificant, and that's why many times we take it for granted, which is undesirable. Friends, हमें समझना पड़ेगा कि blank story का पर्पस क्या है. Okay. इसके बारे में बिना जाने हुए लोगों ने बहुत सी भ्रांतियां, मिसनोमर्स, मिसकॉन्सेप्शंस, fallacious beliefs, they have been spread by the environment. और उसमें से पहली जो मिसनोमर कह सकते हैं, fallacious belief कह सकते हैं, या undesirable चीज कह सकते हैं, especially lot of my students who send their stories for evaluation, वो कहते हैं कि सर हमें ऐसा इंस्ट्रक्शन दिया गया है लास्ट में कि you have to imagine a picture of your own. ये पहली मिसअंडरस्टैंडिंग है. You will not be imagining a picture of your own, but you have to imagine a picture of your own choice. ध्यान दीजिएगा, there is a difference. Picture of your own. Somebody may think that, well, he is sitting in a 5-star hotel and sipping a cup of coffee with his girlfriend. No. Or somebody might slip into fantasies. कि मैं अगले 10 साल के बाद मैं क्या होऊंगा, मैं तो एक मेजर साहब होऊंगा और मैं अपनी कमांडो फोर्स के साथ I'll be raiding the enemy. No, sir. The psychologist has given you 11 pictures, one by one, and these pictures, they are from the different walks of life. और जैसा कि मैंने आपको अर्लियर लेसन्स में मैंने बताया कि these pictures, they have got their own characteristics. Some of them are neutral, some of them are stress inducing, some of them, they are having the direct stress. But all these pictures are related with the different walks of real life, and you have to choose definitely a picture which is belonging to the real life, not your own. जब आप अपनी पिक्चर आप इमेजिन करोगे तो बहुत सारी टेक्निकली यू विल गो रॉन्ग, फ्रैंकली स्पीकिंग। इसका सीधा सा मतलब है कि हमको ब्लैंक स्टोरीज किस लिए कराई जाती हैं, व्हाई द एक्सरसाइज ऑफ ब्लैंक स्टोरी इज देयर इन द स्कीम ऑफ टीएटी, इट इज नॉट completely clear to us. So let's understand. There's another misnomer, and then I'll warn you against these misnomers. Then we will see what is the purpose of it. This is what you see on the screen. The instruction of the psychologist is imagine a situation of your own choice. When we say choice, it means you have to pick up something which is belonging to the real life and not your own. Of course, you may be the part of the real life, but certainly don't keep yourself in the center of that situation. और दूसरा एक false belief लोगों में आ गया है कि why waste 30 seconds? इसलिए एक पहले से ही तैयार करके जाओ. Keep one story prepared in advance, and the moment psychologist declares it's time now for the blank story, you save your 30 seconds. आपको लगता है कि 30 सेकेंड कौन वेस्ट करे, तो जो स्टोरी आपने जो पहले से ही आप तैयार करके जाते हैं उसको आप वहां पर लिख देते हैं. इसका सीधा सा मतलब है कि आपको ब्लैंक स्टोरी का पर्पस नहीं पता है. मैं आपको बताऊंगा, और मैं दोहरा रहा हूं, आई एम रिपीटिंग दैट आई हैव टेकन प्लेज ऑफ स्प्रेडिंग द ऑथेंटिक नॉलेज अबाउट साइकोलॉजी. देखिए, समझें कि इसमें मिसगिविंग्स क्या है, मिसनोमर्स क्या है, या गलत धारणाएं जो प्रचारित कर दी गई हैं ऐसे लोगों के द्वारा जिनको साइकोलॉजी का पी नहीं पता है. एंड आई एम सॉरी, आई फील वेरी कट अप, वेरी बिटर व्हेन आई फाइंड दैट अ पर्सन who has not studied psychology, he declares himself as a psychologist, and then he gives you these kinds of notions. Anyway, हमको समझना पड़ेगा, we have to understand what is the purpose of the blank story. देखिए, पहले तो हम समझें कि what happens when you start writing the stories one after the other till 11. Then what happens? Your unconscious mind, that has got two things. First thing is it is energized. आप अपनी स्टोरीज में हीरो को एक टास्क देते हैं. There's a motivation for the hero to achieve something, and when your motivation becomes active in your mind, then your mind becomes energized, along with which lot of memories, lot of past experiences, they also get activated. समझिए, TAT is operating at the unconscious level of your mind. Whenever something, unconscious mind is the source, it's a driving force of your behavior, your needs, your emotions, your whatever purpose you give to yourself, that energizes your unconscious mind. And this unconscious energy that prompts you to behave, prompts you to achieve the purpose, then the energy is reduced or subsides. So there is agitation in the unconscious mind. This is what is written, that in the 11 stories, your unconscious mind is energized and it activates the dormant past experiences. Mind you, जब मैं past experiences की बात कर रहा हूं, तो it simply does not reflect on the memory of the past, but you relive the entire situation. अगर मान लीजिए कि किसी भी situation में अगर आपको कोई fear, let us say somebody had the experience of actually, जैसे होता है ना कि कभी हो गया स्विमिंग पूल में या नदी तालाब में और उसका पैर फिसल गया, he starts drowning. It may be the real experience of somebody of a very long time which has been suppressed into your unconscious mind. And in the pictures, you see one of the boys being drowned. Now, you do not know consciously, but unconscious mind में आपका ये एक्सपीरियंस एक्टिव हो जाएगा, एंड देन इट विल नॉट बी ओनली द मेमोरी बट द एक्सपीरियंस ऑफ दैट फियर और एंजाइटी और मे बी फोबिया, ये सारी चीजें एक्टिव हो जाती हैं। तो पास्ट एक्सपीरियंस इज एक्टिवेटेड इन होलिस्टिक फॉर्म, ठीक है। और ये जो अनवांटेड इमोशंस हैं, दे हिंडर द स्मूथ ऑपरेशन ऑफ द सबकॉन्शियस माइंड. Please remember, after the TAT, the next test is the word association test. Word association test is like testing those filters in the form of thoughts. It is better, it is desirable that the subconscious filters are activated without the pressure of the unconscious experiences and the anxieties and the bad emotions. Unconscious mind has to come to rest so that the subconscious mind could be activated completely. Remember, there is psychological phenomenon. Whenever there is unrest, whenever there is agitation of your unconscious mind, okay, it seeks to come out, and when it is coming out in your conscious behavior, it has to pass through the filters which are acting at the subconscious level. The subconscious mind becomes contaminated by the unwanted emotions of the unconscious mind. Now you have to take the next test, for which the subconscious mind has to be absolutely calm and without the inner pressure of the unconscious mind. Let me give another example, real life examples. There are some airlines, particularly the main airline of our country, which has got about 55% of the stake in the aviation industry. I don't want to name that, you may recall it. When you are about to land at your destination, about 15 or 20 minutes before the landing, the crew announces that, well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and to be on time, is a value, and we at this particular airline, we are committed to the punctuality, this and that. Now, they say that they are preparing the cabin for either the next leg of the flight or the return flight. They are clearing the trash. This trash is generated during your flight. Suppose you are flying from Bangalore to Delhi. It's about 1.5 hours or 2 hours of flight, and in between you eat something, you order something, you drink a cup of coffee, you wrapper, you take out the wrappers of the whatever you have ordered, and all these things, they become a trash. This trash is to be cleaned. The airlines cannot welcome the next set of passengers for the next leg of flight or return flight with the trash around. So they clean the clutter, they clean the cabin. Exactly, this is the purpose of the blank story. Here, the clutter is not the physical clutter. Here, it is the psychological clutter. Okay. Now, sometime you may find it that I'm dropping a bombshell. Yes, it appears. I reiterate, and I can shout at the top of my voice anywhere that blank is, you may quote me also. Blank story is not meant for evaluation of your personality. It is meant for psychologically preparing you for the next test, that is the word association test, by quieting your unconscious mind or clearing the psychological trash which has appeared in your unconscious mind during the writing of 11 stories. I've told you that whenever you have got a purpose, your hero is having a purpose, and whenever you have got a purpose or a motivation, the energy, your mind is energized. The psychological energy drives your physical body. It is possible that some energy, even after achievement of the purpose in the story of the, in the stories, it is possible some of the energy is still left in your mind. So वो जो extra energy है, it is to be, either let out by certain psychological operations, or it is to be utilized gainfully. It is psychological trash. It is not a physical trash which could be broomed out. Okay. And similarly, the unwanted memories or emotions, the psychological trash must be disposed of through psychological means, through psychological ways. So this way, we prepare you for the word association test by cleaning the trash, by cleaning the clutter of the unwanted memories and the extra energy which is there in the unconscious mind. Ab psychologist gives you the prescription for it. Sadly, we don't pay attention to that. We take the instructions from the psychologist who is testing, but we follow something which is told by many mentors, coaching academies, through our own consultation with the experienced people. Psychologists say, if you recall, imagine and write a story then and there. Write a story. Imagine a situation. Imagine a situation and write a story then and there. Please activate your imagination for 30 seconds. Imagine any situation of your own choice. I repeat, your own choice. It is not the the picture of your own. This is the most hygienic way. But during all these while, when I've been mentoring the people, most of the students, most of the aspirants, they have come out with a complaint कि sir, mind blank हो जाता है. We are unable to imagine a situation of, any choice. So for those people whose mind becomes a little blank, or it becomes frozen, or it becomes non-productive for the time being, it may be because of the fatigue also, I accept it. So for those people, there are two other prescriptions. One is Zeigarnik effect, and second is the recency effect. But I'm reiterating, never go with a prepared story. This is the most unhygienic way. Take it as a warning. Zeigarnik effect, डिटेल में इसके बारे में बाद में मैं बात करूंगा. Zeigarnik effect का, for the time being, you may take it that any of the stories, what happens, your mind remains, your unconscious mind has got many sources of agitation, and one of them is that you could not, or you did not do a task according to your potential. You are capable of doing something. Let us say a student is capable of securing 90% and he has got only 70%. So this causes a discomfort or dissonance, and if somehow he is able to compensate that, his dissonance is reduced. So for the time being, हालांकि Zeigarnik effect, it's not all that simple. आप इसको simply इतना मान करके चलिए. Its implication is this, कि any of the stories, if your mind is you try to imagine a situation, but if your mind is unable to imagine a situation, then just flutter the pages, or any of the stories out of the 11 that you have written. Usme se the weakest story. It is quite possible that one of the stories has not come out according to your scheme of things or according to your potential. Or it may be possible that the last minute mein koi brainwave, it has influenced the quality of that story. So the weakest of the story is to be rewritten here. Take it as a prescription. At least the discomfort of your mind will be lesser. But if you feel that, well, all the stories are of the same quality and you don't need to revise the story, then recency effect. Memories will be there. See, in the memory, the psychologists believe that if a thing is presented, in a sequence, in a series, then we remember there are two effects. The pehle ki jo cheezein hain, the primacy effect, एंड लास्ट की चीज है तो recency effect. So I'm sure that you still will be having some kind of a memory of your 11th or 10th picture. आप उसको दोबारा लिख दीजिए. Okay. Let the psychological trash find its way, but never go with a prepared story. This is a warning. अब आप में से कुछ लोग कहेंगे कि सर मैं तो जाऊंगा या मैं तो जाऊंगी. तो एक बात मैं आपको बता दूं कि प्लीज डू नॉट टेक द साइकोलॉजिकल टेक्निक फॉर ग्रांटेड. यू विल बी कॉट फॉर श्योर. योर ओवर स्मार्टनेस of going with a prepared story, if you feel will not be caught, you are sadly mistaken. See here, when the psychologist goes through your stories from 1 to 11, he finds your stories of a certain quality. This is a quality graph. Sometimes the quality may have some rise, sometimes it may down. That you see, the worm is sometimes rising, sometimes it's up and downs are there. But there is a kind of an average level is maintained. This is your characteristic. But if you go with a prepared story, this you see what happens. There is a sudden spurt in the quality. Your story which you have prepared in advance to be placed in the blank story got to be the best story. क्यों? आपके पास time है. It is revised. Its presentation got to be the best. The story which is prepared in advance stands out from the other stories for its quality. So please take it that you'll be caught. And when the psychologist finds you that the candidate has not followed his instructions, you think that he'll be kind to you? The first thing he will take that your responses are not spontaneous. You are appearing with a pre-prepared thoughts, prejudiced mind. Remember, only your spontaneous, unedited, unrevised responses, they give you the correct input to the psychologist for assessment of your personality. Otherwise, he will brush all your efforts aside, saying that the candidate has appeared with a prejudiced mind, preoccupied mind. And this, the proof of the preoccupied mind is best seen in the blank story. So please don't take it for granted. Never go with a prepared story, right? Friends, this appears very insignificant, very trivial, very innocuous, but it gives a certainly an input to the psychologist about the spontaneity of your responses. And that is why I always request you people, advise you, never go with a pre-prepared story as far as blank story is concerned, right? You may go on my channel and watch the videos. Very significant, very important pieces of knowledge and the psychological principles will be available there. Generally, these things are not available in the coaching centers. So with this, I come to the close of this particular session of your class. That is the wisdom behind the blank story. Thank you very much. God bless you. Happy preparations.